Hello, friends. Back for another pet episode. We're gonna make another dog today. That video seemed to do really well, so maybe we'll just try to make a different dog today. Seems to be the best out of the pet series so far, so maybe we'll check that out and do another one. Maybe try to do it a little different, a little cuter or something. Not really sure, but we'll get started. So, first off, make sure everything's scaled. I'm going to. You don't have to if you don't want to. 0.1. And I just do this because I use Unreal. And it matters for Unreal. I don't know if it matters for whatever you're using, but thought I'd mention it. Right. Okay, so we'll start off by curving this. So in edit mode. And like always, gonna add some bevels. Okay. Then we'll undo it. And then we'll redo it. And it'll be a lot better. Okay. Alright. Let's give us a starting shape of how we're going to be. We'll slowly start this. Maybe we'll do, should we do his face first? Let's go bigger. Before we do that, let's shift D in case we need this shape again. Then it's not modified shape. Let's move it back a little bit. Now we'll modify this a little bit into more what we want for our dog's face. Just going to make it a little more squarey. A little more, yeah, like so. I think it's just a slight bit more squared, I think. Maybe we want a flatter face. Something like that. Alright, so we'll do eyeballs. Just shift D back there. That's the noise of it shrinking. That's the noise. Don't question it. Alright. We probably want them pretty far into his little head. Until we get kind of an even seam around it. Could flatten it a bit if you want. Probably needs to be on a bit of an angle. I'll figure out what that is. Not it. Not it. So it's going to be this one. That looked to be right. Maybe we'll do 10. Alright, that looks pretty good, I think. Kind of looks like we need to do the up and down. 5. Nope, that's wrong. And that's wrong, so we'll do -5 there. And that should be maybe -10. Yeah, that's better. So we're just going to shift D that. And we will send it to the other side. Should be this one. Did I move it? No, I don't think I did. Nope, that's wrong. Alright. Oh my god, what am I doing here? So this one needs to be gone. Can you tell I got something on my mind or what? Alright. And then which one is it now? Now I'm not going to know. Let's do +10 here. No, that's the wrong one. -10 there. And then -10 on this one. Yep. Alright, so his eyes are pretty much in place. Might want to change them. Might make them more round. You might want to go on a bit more of an angle. As you can see, it's not perfect, but it's good enough for what I'm going for, so let's move on. I'm going to shift D and just steal this piece back again. And we're going to hit 0 to center it. It's the wrong one. That's the one. And then we'll stick it out a little bit. Is that the one? Yeah, it looks a little off, so it's probably not. There we go. That's the one. And we could probably fix this. And this. Okay, just for it's nice and straight to start with. And something like this. And we're going to change the shape of that. It's too long. Let's make his face stubby this time, actually, to do something a little different. Something like this. Give him a little McGruff look here. A little short nose. Shift D it. Drag it out. Shrink it. Bring it up. Something like that. Oh, he's starting to look so cute already. Okay. Good question is how to do his mouth. Probably use a square and modify it. Yeah, let's see what we can do here. And like I said, I don't plan this out. I don't pre-build them and come build them for you guys. I just build them. So if it takes me a little bit to figure it out, try to understand. I'm trying to think on the spot. And maybe it'd be better if I make them first, but I always feel like I'd rather make them in front of you guys for you guys kind of learn with me, and we're all doing this together. But let me know in the comments if you disagree. Alright, and make sure you like and thumbs up and subscribe. I need you guys. I appreciate you guys, but I need you guys here to keep making these videos. Right? So what am I going to do with these? I will hopefully give it... You're probably wondering, that don't look right. Hopefully it'll end up alright. We just got to move some parts around a little more. So I think a dog kinda has like almost a grin, but it's not quite a grin. Kinda like this. So if I'm mistaken, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm more than willing to admit that I don't know everything. A lot of this stuff I just kinda make up and go with, so if it's wrong, feel free to let me know. Alright, I think something like that. We'll probably have to move this down a bit, but I think we got our general shape. So we're going to punch this into his face. That sounded so bad. Okay, we won't punch it into his face. We'll ease it through his nose. I don't know. I don't know a nice way to put that. Something like that. Maybe a little smaller. Something like this. They usually have a little kind of like thing going up to their nose. It's almost like, I don't know what to call it. A split in their lip, I guess, would be the best way to describe it. I want to try to make it kind of thin, but still noticeable, hopefully. And yeah, I think that's going to do. I kind of want to make the backside go in a little bit. And there's one thing I got to do, but it's going to be rather hard. I'm going to have to grab the faces and see if we could shrink them a little bit, but I don't know if we're going to be able to because they're really small. And just make sure that you just have that if you're doing this. And it's S. Hopefully it just goes a little smaller. Just kind of tapers towards the back. That's what I was thinking. Probably good enough. I don't want to mess with that too much. It's a really weird shape and it's going to start messing up. If it's in the right position for you, I'm going to move mine down a little bit. Move his little nose down a little bit like that. Pull the shape out. I'm just going to edit. I should have chose the other one. I don't know why I chose that bool. Just gives you options to do different things, and I don't really need to do anything with it. Should be fine. Kind of like that. I think that looks pretty good. Hopefully you agree. Okay. We'll fix that up after, but let's just keep going for now. So last time we did side ears, and they were big floppy ears, so let's maybe see if we can do some kind of triangle ear on this guy maybe. And we still want to look like a dog is the only thing and not a cat, but let's see if we can find a way to do this. And again, I haven't planned this out, so if it doesn't work out, remember that, keep that in mind. I'm just trying to build on the fly and give you guys an idea of how to just use your imagination to figure this stuff out. So I want to dissolve this one edge to make a triangle at the top, but I'm kind of not sure I'm doing it in the right spot, but we'll try it and see if we can make it work. something like this, and then near the top it gets way more narrow, right? How can we do this? So, something... Shrink it down a little bit and see what it looks like. It's starting to look pretty doggy. Actually, let's grab that top one. Let's maybe drag it a bit forward. I think that'd be more right. Okay. How can we make this look more like a dog's ear and less like a cat's ear? Okay, I think I know. Dog's ears can be kind of triangular, but I think they're more of a rounded triangular like that. And I could be mistaken again. Maybe your dogs are different. Let me know in the comments. Yeah. So I think I'll move it in a little bit more. I want to give it a certain look, but I'm not sure it's going to be able to apply the other side if we don't do it a correct way. Yeah, let's do that now. Let's try to bool a shape out of it that we want. Shift D that. Move this forward. And S, shrink it down and make sure your outer lip's still sticking out. It looks like it's a little small now, up and down, but it's about right side to side, so I'm just going to do that. And we'll slip it down. Something like that. Okay, for the bottom edges hanging out. Okay, bool. Let's do difference up here. It's a bit different in an ear than we usually do. It's got a little more characteristics to it. Trying to think of how a dog would have his ears. Let's just move it around maybe a little bit until we find the look we're going for. Just testing a little bit to see if I like anything more than another. That kind of looks good from the back. It's tilted forward like that. I don't know. Kind of looks silly on the front though. I won't do that either. And this is what you're going to want to do basically, is just move it around and see if you can find a spot that makes it look good. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. But you can always change the ears, and we could do the floppy ears like we did before, but I feel like I can make this work. I just need to figure it the right way. I'm going to try -15 there. And that's the kind of spirit you need for this stuff, is find a way to make it work, right? Instead of just giving up. Anybody can give up, but not everybody can keep trying and find a way. You gotta learn to be that way. Okay, I think this is the look I want. Seems a little bit like it could be tilted more, but let's Shift D it and see how it looks on the other side, hopefully. So we're -25, and I think it was the top one. I don't know. I got a bad memory. Nope. Second one. Got a bad memory. When you have kids, you'll be like me and you won't be able to remember anything. They'll drive you nuts, and then your mind will be gone. Alright, so, kind of looks like a cat, doesn't he? I don't know what to do with his ears. Maybe like make them less pointy or something. Maybe wider. I don't know. Kind of looks like a dog. I don't know what to do here. Not sure. That's going to happen a lot on your art projects too, guys. It just won't be sure if it looks right or not. How can we make this look better? trying to make like a stubby-nosed dog, but it kind of looks like a stubby-nosed cat. I guess that's usually the difference between a dog and a cat too, is there are some dogs with a nose like that, but most of them are just a bit longer like this, right? Sorry, I lost his nose there. Yeah, that might be better. Looks more wolfy like this, more like a dog. Go down a little bit, maybe. Yeah, I guess that's a little better. You're gonna have to do you. You do whatever you need to do to make it look more like a dog for you. You might have to play with it a little bit. I think their heads are less. It's more like this, and a cat's head would be more round. But again, I can be mistaken. It kind of looks like a bear, doesn't it? Maybe a little less than that. But you're going to have to play with his proportions until they feel right to you. Maybe like that. I know his eye. I get his eyes are out of position, don't worry. Just moving it around, trying to find the right spot. Maybe like that. That looks a bit more wolfy and less catty. So I guess that's kind of it. The shape of his head mostly is going to make the difference, it looks like. That to me looks a lot more doggy now. So I'm going to go with that, probably. It's a little long that way, eh? Maybe we could just something like that, and then just bump it up a little bit or something. There we go. I think we're in position. I think we're looking pretty good. Alright, sorry about the length of time that took, eh? But we're pretty much done his head, and that's a good thing. Now, you could do the back of his ears if you want. It's kind of up to you, but what I would do is grab both of them at once. Grab this, grab that, grab this, grab that for wraps all the way around. So your left click to grab the first one, then control left click to grab the second one. Alright, control B, just do this. And you see when it breaks, just don't go past there. And make sure that you, at the end of this, that you go ahead and, what the heck is that called? Break them all up evenly anyways. Subdivide, there we go. You subdivide everything for when you're texturing, you don't have weird issues with this. Okay? Should be good. So we'll go ahead and don't think we need to bool anything out of here or to this head, so we're just going to go ahead and attach everything to the head. Control J. Head's the control point. Alright? Looks pretty good. I'll do some color in a couple minutes, but let's get them shaped up a little bit more. Do the rest of our big doggy here. Dogs, dogs, dogs. How are their bodies compared to their heads? Something like this, I think. And they're pretty narrow. Probably about that, maybe. Shift D. And we'll just kind of figure it out as we go, because it's going to be a little different. Oh, that was wrong. Why does his head turn? I shouldn't have his head. I should have this piece I just had. What the heck? It was wrong anyways, but still that shouldn't have turned. Nope, that shouldn't have turned. I swear it was going to be this one, but then it was wrong, so. Alright. Alright then. You guys are probably puking your pants with laughter. Going, what the heck's this guy doing? Why can't you remember? I ask myself that all the time. Alright, I'm going to shrink it, and we'll get into his neck position. Something like this. Maybe a little bit down. Maybe you need to move his head back a little bit. The neck should help you kind of position it a bit better. Like this. That looks about right. So I probably wanted to make that a little smaller. It just doesn't need to be that big. So go down that way. Just give it a little bit more. I think that's about right for the next size. You're going to have to figure it out on your own. Alright, we'll do some lags real quick. And again, I would probably use bones for this system to make it easier to not have to make animations for all this stuff. But if you make your own animations, you're going to want to shape the lags a little different. Make sure your joints are actual. Because when you're trying to make these walking animations and things, you're probably going to have some issues with the lags if they're not in the right proportions to an actual animal's. So it's going to look funny. I'm going to use a program and cheat probably where I just attach bones to my animal, and I have a couple of animal packs that have skeletons. So I'll probably just switch the skeletons over and animate it that way. And I like making all my own stuff, but I'm really not that great at animating. So I do cheat sometimes, like stuff like that. But that's what the asset packs are for, the starter packs I should say, is stuff like that. So still feel like I'm doing it pretty good because I'm making my own images, but you guys do you if you'd rather do the whole process yourself or whatever you need to do. Okay, so I'm going to Shift D that, and probably do something like that. Probably make a paw after. But if you're going to do two parts, do something like that. And then just size this one down a little bit where it kind of makes sense as it's going down the leg. And then walk this one up until you're happy. Then we'll probably put a paw on the end of that. If you need there to be more of a join or for it to be bent one way or the other, you can line them up the way you need. Probably just take this again, Shift D it, and again I'm just making a low poly forest animal. You know, if this is a hunting game or something, you're probably going to want to spend a little more time on this stuff and make it a little better, but for what we're using it for, I think we can just get away with just making a paw this way. Maybe stretch it out, maybe make it a bit skinnier for it looks more like a paw, and we'll skinnier that way. Okay, and then we'll bump it up. If you're happy, and you know what, go ahead and make it a full lag, and if you want to make it a little different, you can too. This is probably the way I'd do it out of simplicity, but obviously, you know, the more work you're going to put into it, the more it's going to show up in your game. A smarter way to do this, maybe I'll just do one other way to do that, would be to because it's flat on the bottom, you want to make something that's flat on the bottom essentially if you're going for that exact look or you're going for more of a real look. Okay. Alright, and we'll get it kind of in position here. You know what, let's not use that. Let's use a square to make some more sense for what we're doing, and you'll see why. Alright, so we would take all sides except for the bottom. So maybe on faces I'd click off bottom. We'll see if this works out. Okay, I gotta take off more than that. I'm gonna have to do this too. Let's try that. Yeah, something like that. And you probably want it to be round but kind of square at the same time. Something like this. Now, maybe we want to go back actually. And one more thing we could do is you kind of grab this edge here before you do anything. Tilt it down a little bit if you wanted to slope towards the front. Or you can Control R. You can add a break in here and you can put it around the middle-ish. So right click and just use this as like a pivot point for his foot basically, and as his foot gets to the front it kind of drops down. And if you need to put two lines there, you can. That would probably be a little better to make two flat spots with the slope in the middle. You might need 4 lines, 4 or 5 anyways. But you just Control R and just roll it till you're happy. So that would make what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 lines. And that would probably be the best. Probably 4 or 5 anyways, but we'll try 4. And we'll just try moving this down a little bit. You see what I mean now? Now if we grab just this one, drag it back a little bit, grab just this one, we drag it forward a little bit, then when we make our shape it could have a little more contrast to the shape of the leg. Then we grab this, grab grab this, grab this, grab this, grab all of these, that, same over here, Control B, and hopefully it makes a decent shape, pretty much anyways. And then we just shrink it down, something like this, and I think you get where I'm going with this. Kind of looks like a shoe, but or a wolf paw, you decide, or a dog's paw, you decide. Okay, we will do that, and that way you at least have a few different choices of how you want to do it. And obviously your shape's going to be a bit different than mine. Just make it the way you think, or go ahead and Google a dog's foot if you really want, and as you're making it you can kind of be looking at them a little bit. I do have a second screen, but I didn't set it to a wolf's foot first. I didn't think of that. I didn't think it would be this hard, but I always have a problem with hands and feet. But I think everybody does, to be honest, unless you're a natural artist. But this is going to do it. That's my wolf's foot. Maybe you want to put little claws on there. You do you. It's cool. So I'm going to grab the ball and Control J, Shift D. I think it was this one. Let's move that back. That was an accident. Yep. And then we're going to Shift D both of these. And we have both our front and back in place now. Maybe you want to move them around a little bit. You do you. Take your time. And when we're done, we'll Shift D this. Drag it back. Drag it back. Drag it back. Now, how big do you want his tail to be? You want a big fluffy tail like that? Probably not. So probably something like that, and then we'll just drag it out. You're going to have to move the proportions around until you're happy with the size and shape that you got, right? Maybe you want it skinnier, you can do that, make it longer, you know, whatever you need to do. So something like that. It's probably a little long, it's the same length as them. And that is a little too, let's go to skinny like that. Okay, something like that anyways. I'll stop there because you guys get the point, I think. Which one was it? I hate forgetting. Minus 30. You get to be my age, it's hard to remember. So I'm going to do that. You could pick the angle you want to make it look good. I think that looks pretty good, so I'm going to keep it there. So probably go ahead and attach this guy all to each other. If you're going to do it the way I do, you don't need his legs to be free. But if you're going to make your own animations, you just might. So keep that in mind. You might not want to attach all the pieces. Alright, so I'm going to do that. And then click his body last, Control J. And then we'll move to the coloring wheel and see how we can make our dog look interesting this way. And use colors to kind of give him more textures in a way. Give him a cute look. We'll see what we can do. Okay, let's go brown. Always go brown. Maybe we'll go like a yellowy brown, like a lab maybe. Let's look at the darkness on that, see if we can tinker with that a little bit. And again, this color doesn't matter too much because you're going to give it a new texture when you're in your game, but I figure it helps with just creating your character to kind of put them in the right colors for you get the idea of where it's heading. You know what I mean? So we could have, he might have looked good in black too. He might have made a good black lab. But that's all up to you. I'll let you decide that stuff, obviously. So we got our first color, I think. Let's just hit assign just in case we didn't. Then we'll hit L over the two eyes after we clicked off everything. And we'll hit new, and we'll leave it white. Okay? Those are going to be his eyeballs, alright? So, let's click off everything. Click over his nose, push plus, new. And we'll make it bright, or dark black. And that'll be his nose, okay? And he's already starting to become a little cuter, right? Gonna have to get inside his mouth, and this is going to be a little hard. But as best as you can, make sure you're on faces. Click inside his mouth. As much as you can get. If you can't reach, it's fine. If you miss a spot or something, no one's probably going to notice because it's going to be so small, but as much as you can, grab what you can. Right, let's make this ready, like a mouth. Somewhere in there, you decide, right? And again, he's just becoming cuter every time we do one little step. We get him a little bit cuter. Now, what color do you want his hair on his ears to be? See, we can go ahead and click on the inside of his ears since we used a piece to pull that out. We just got to grab all the corners in there. And I think we can do that. Click this. Shift left click that, then Control left click this, and it'll wrap around all the way on the inside, okay? It's just going to be a little easier to grab it that way. And we'll hit plus, new, and we'll just make it a little different than the other yellow we had. Maybe brighter yellow, maybe this color. Just give him some contrast, right? And now he kind of has a little more contrast to him. And you're going to have to pick your own shades, and obviously these, oh, sorry. These, did it wrap around all the way? I think it did. These, are just slots that you're assigning, essentially. So you're just saying a different color can go there. But I think, again, it helps you pick out what you're going to want there. We may have to do the mouth over, because I think I'm going to change this color of this. And because I clicked the whole thing with L to that color, it's going to change his mouth, but we'll just change it back after. It's no big deal. Okay. Oh, missed a few, didn't I? Just missed half them, no big deal. I can't really see what I got and what I don't got. Let's just assign them for oops. Oopsie, oopsie, oopsie. So click off of everything first. That's why I couldn't see. I'm just going to click that, and I'm going to Control left click that, and it just went all the way across the bottom for me. Like that. And now there's just a few more pieces we need. Sorry about the delay, guys. And we'll just go red, and then we'll make sure we didn't miss anything in there. Looks like we got it all. Okay. Again, it just gives them a little more contrast to make them look a little cuter. So you don't have to do the different colors in different spots, but you definitely can. And it's just going to give your animal a little more characteristics while still being able to keep them low poly at the same time. And if you want to step that up to a little higher and make moving eyeballs and all that stuff, you're more than welcome to. But as you see, it's pretty realistic for a little low poly puppy there. He's super cute. Maybe we'll do just a couple more spots in case you wanted to, I don't know, for example, give him a colored belly. Something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know if you'd actually even see it, so maybe it'd be better to do, here, we could do a leg, we could do all his legs, have a little boot on them. Why don't we do that, see how that looks. Then we'll just snap out, and yeah, it looks pretty good. That actually looked good on a deer, huh? Maybe not so much on the dog, but again, it's up to you to decide. You're going to have to make your perfect dog the way that you want to make them, okay? You want to leave some spots on them, that's all you. But I think we'll wrap it up here, and I hope you guys had a fun time, and your little puppy looks just as cute as mine does. And for whatever project you're using, you can use them. I'd like to thank you guys for being here. Make sure you thumbs up, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. I don't know if those are all the same thing, but do all those things if you can, and you don't mind. And we'll come back for something else that's pretty cute again pretty soon. I was thinking about penguin maybe, but if you guys got any requests, make sure to put them in the comments, and I'll try to make that. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.